Hello, welcome to the Legends of Draxia rules explanation video. My name is Jimmy Sanders, the lead game designer for Legends of Draxia. The purpose of the game is to get the most points before the game's over and beat your opponents. So the way you do that, you draw two resources at the start of each turn. In this case, these two resources would be a bow and a sword, which are combat weapons, so you use those to fight the monsters. Normally these monsters would all be in this deck and you draw a monster face up whenever you want to fight one. For rules of point of this explanation is out. So bows deal variable damage, so against beasts, which are the tan monsters, they do 2 damage. Against the humanoids, right here, they do 1 damage, and against the undead, bows deal 0 damage. Swords always deal 1 damage. If you happen to kill the monster, you get to have their loot. The beast monsters allow you to draw additional resource cards. The humanoid monsters allow you to draw additional monster cards to fight more monsters. And the undead allow you to draw additional spell cards to take additional actions with the spells. We'll get to that in a minute. So the next thing you can do with resources, draw another 2. You've got food and you have stone. These resources you use to construct buildings. So for instance, we've got a farm right there. I could say, here's a food and a stone, I want to buy a farm, discard those 2, and you buy yourself a farm. The buildings will generate additional resources each turn, so next turn I'd be able to use this farm to generate 1 food, and if I had a stone, I'd be able to purchase another basic building. Then lastly, you have gold resource cards. Gold here is used to purchase spell cards, so you take the 2 gold, discard it, and purchase yourself a spell, which can do a variety of things. Spells have mana pools. A mana pool gives you bonus points at the end of the game, based on the number you have. You have the Wish spell. Wish produces any 2 basic resources, so if you needed bows and swords to fight monsters, that's what Wish can do. If you needed food and stone to construct buildings, Wish can also do that. So it's a very versatile spell. In each turn, you only have 1 action. An action consists of fighting a monster or constructing a building. Purchasing spells does not take an action. Haste allows you to take an additional action. So if you play the haste spell, you may build 1 extra building or fight an extra monster. The specialized spells are Fireball, used for fighting monsters. It simply does 3 damage. And Fabricate, which is used to construct buildings. It reduces the cost of buildings by 3 resources, so it helps facilitate building the bigger ones, such as the cathedrals, which cost 3 food and 3 stone. If you don't have the appropriate number of resources or type of resources, you can discard any 2 resources to substitute for the one that you want. So for instance, if I wanted to buy a spell, and what I had was a gold and a food and a stone, I could discard the food and the stone and substitute it for 1 gold, plus the other gold is sufficient to buy a spell. And then that's how I would use substitution of cards. At the beginning of the game, everyone chooses one of these 12 player characters. Each player character gets bonus points at the end of the game based on how you played. So it'll give you some strategy of, do you want to buy a lot of spells, or fight monsters, or construct certain types of buildings. So that'll help give you some direction. The game ends whenever either the monster pile has been drawn, or all of the cathedrals have been built. Either one of those trigger the end step. Whoever ends the game in that regard is done with their turn, and every other player gets 1 final turn to buy as many buildings or fight as many monsters that are left over, and then you count up your points and see who wins. Thank you for watching the rules video, and I hope you support us on Kickstarter.